Hello, Anteater fans. Michael O'Sullivan sitting here with David Niffen, head coach of the UC Irvine men's volleyball team inside the Brent Event Center. And Coach, hard to believe, but we are looking ahead now to 2015-16. Summer went like that, as it always does.
It did.
But the end of 2015 is when things will get going for you, and we'll jump right into it because we got a lot to get to. But Concordia, an exhibition matchup at Crawford Hall, that'll be on the 30th of December to get things going.
Yeah, always great to play an emerging team. Concordia's been a program that in the last couple of years has even beaten some of the powerhouses in our conference with their win against Stanford last year, and always fun to play someone right down the road.
And then as the calendar officially gets to 2016, it'll all get going in Utah actually for you guys, so out of the state. You'll take on Loyola Chicago and George Mason on back-to-back days. Loyola, of course, the team that ended your season a year ago, so that'll officially get the season going.
We are always excited to play at BYU. That the environment there is really special. Probably one of the top three in the country to play in.
Yeah.
And you know, from the great announcing to the great hospitality shown by the school, it's just a pleasure to play there.
And that'll be early January, and then MPSF play gets going right after that. You got UCLA, Santa Barbara here at home, and then you'll stay in Southern California for a matchup with Pepperdine, and then you'll go up to NorCal to take on Stanford.
Yeah.
So hit the ground running in that conference.
Yeah, in our conference, it's you can never pick a favorite opponent or even a series of favorite opponents because they're all fun to play against. But that's certainly an iconic weekend to kick off our homestand.
And you mentioned playing at BYU, so you get to do that early in January. But at the end of the month, the Cougars come here. So you guys were there for 2 in a row last year. I know you picked up a couple of really big wins on the road in that environment. So they return the favor to come to the Bren for 2, and that should be fun.
Yeah, that was kind of the emergence of Travis Willison that weekend, and I think when we kind of found our groove, and you know, it's only through a real competitive environment like that against a good team that you're able to find that, and so that was exciting. And then having the Cougars here is awesome. They always travel well, and you know, we get 3,000 people in here on a weekend we play the Cougars. Yeah,
and I know that started a big win streak for you guys last year, so it'll be cool to have them come in. And then as the calendar gets into February, you're going to continue to groove with the MPSF play. I mean, just talk about this conference. I know you've praised it a ton, just so strong from top to bottom, but that really is such a test year in and year out, isn't it?
Sure. I mean, I think even more than the strength of it, it's the iconic nature of the conference. You know, you have your Pac-12 schools, and then right there with your Pac-12 schools, you've got your schools, basically your island schools, right, from Provo, Utah with BYU to University of Hawaii, and these just iconic kind of legacy volleyball programs. And every weekend that rolls around, you get to play someone like that, and it's fun to watch a Santa Barbara compete with a UCLA and a USC compete with a Cal Baptist and so on, and a Concordia and a Stanford even. So it's exciting every weekend.
Yeah, and looking at the latter half of the schedule as you get into March, big road trip that really jumps off when you look at the schedule top to bottom. It'll start at Ball State in Indiana, then you go at Penn State, a very good team, obviously a volleyball powerhouse there. Then you go to Virginia to take on George Mason, and then you'll fly all the way to Hawaii for 2 against the Rainbow Warriors. So that definitely is a trip that will test your team, no question. You guys are going to earn some miles through the air there.
Yeah, that might have been a little aggressive in terms of scheduling, but I just think we need the test. You know, I think we played the hardest schedule in the country last year, and that's just an opinion. I don't know if the numbers back that up, but that's kind of what we were shooting for. You know, it's fun to be tested, and that's one of the reasons we do this.
And you'll finish the regular season in SoCal. You'll go at SC, and then back-to-back here at home to finish it up with CSUN and Long Beach State. And the MPSF championships, which, of course, were here at the Bren a year ago, and that was such a cool environment. You guys defeating Pepperdine to win it, but from the UCLA matchup to the SC, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, when you think about where we are, being in Orange County, being the volleyball mecca that it is, and then you think about the size of our venue, which I think it's been a while since we've sold this place out. But anytime you get over a couple thousand people in here, to a few thousand people at that semifinal match in the MPSF conference tournament, this place is electric, and it's really a neat place to compete.
Yeah, no question. That time of year when big players make big plays, you had a lot of that last year. You lose a lot with that senior class,
Sure.
I know. I mean, a lot of anchors there. We could go on and on about that. But look at some of the returners. I mean, you got Tamir Hershko, Andrew Benz, Michael Saeda, just to name a couple. I know you're excited at the talent you got coming back here and just the experience they had the last couple seasons.
Sure. Yeah, and then you look at the names that maybe haven't been out in front of us, like Thomas Hodges, who spent all summer training with the Australian national team and is in Japan right now with the World Cup. And then you look at a couple guys that have been here for 3 or 4 years now, that just because we've had so much talent in front of them, they've been training and competing in practice like starters, and yet haven't had the opportunity to get on the court. So I'm very curious about this team. I think there's potential for greatness, and as I typically do, but they'll certainly have the opportunity to prove themselves.
I know you guys are taking a couple trips over the summer, just gelling together. What's been the theme for you to your team, if you've had one yet, just a message in this offseason?
I think that we need to just find our identity, and we rallied last year around a couple real iconic players that were very talented and great in big moments. And I don't know that we have the players that have had the opportunity to prove that they can do that. I think we know they're capable of it. So kind of latching onto the idea of what are we going to be known for this year, and will it be different, and will it be ours, or will we be trying to basically be a watered-down version of what we were last year?
Head coach David Niffen. It'll all get going in late December, the new UC Irvine men's volleyball season. A lot of excitement as always, and for all that ticket information, you can go to ucirvinesports.com. Niff, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
See you next time, Anteater fans.